I'm about to show you how to keep an extra $300 in your pocket every single month with just this one breakdown. Right now, every time you step into a supermarket, you're getting drained of cash without realizing it. The typical household in the U.S. wastes about $1,500 worth of groceries each year. And believe it or not, that's not even the real issue. The bigger problem is that you're often spending 2, 3, or even up to 10 times more for products that take minutes to prepare yourself. I used to work behind the scenes in grocery retail, and what I'm about to share will make you rethink nearly every purchase you've made recently. If you've ever grabbed cut-up fruit, bottled water, or pricey protein snacks, you'll want to pay attention. This is what almost nobody tells you about food shopping in 2025. Since 2020, food prices have jumped by 23.6%. with another 3.2% increase expected this year. And while most people blame inflation, the hidden drain on your wallet isn't just price hikes, it's the so-called convenience products you toss in your cart. The 15 grocery items I'm about to uncover are cash cows for stores, and they're draining your account week after week. Here's the crazy part. Most of these products can be swapped for alternatives that cost around 70% less and often taste fresher. I'm going to break down each one, show you the actual numbers, and give you the budget-friendly swaps that can cut your food bill nearly in half. By the time we're done, you'll never look at shopping the same way again. Item 1. Pre-cut produce. The convenience fee that wrecks your budget. Here's one of the most outrageous rip-offs happening everywhere right now. Just last week, I saw someone buy a container of chopped watermelon for $4.58. Sitting right beside it was a whole watermelon priced between $4 and $2.79, offering twice the amount of fruit. She literally paid more money for less food. And this isn't rare. It happens millions of times daily across the country. Let me give you another example. That container of sliced pineapple costing $6.99. You could grab a whole pineapple 3 feet away for $2.99. That's a 133% markup for a few minutes with a knife. Or those little tubs of chopped bell peppers? $4.09 for maybe $1.50 worth of whole peppers. On average, pre-cut veggies come with a markup of 200 to 300%, sometimes even higher. I once spoke to a produce manager who admitted something wild. The profits on pre-cut items are so massive that stores actually lose money if shoppers skip them. In other words, they're counting on your laziness to fund the entire produce section. And here's the kicker. The fresh pre-cut fruit you buy was probably chopped 3 to 5 days earlier, sitting in plastic containers, losing both nutrients and taste while you pay premium prices for lower quality food. It gets worse. Studies show that chopped produce spoils about 40% faster than whole fruits and veggies. So you're not only paying more, you're also tossing more into the trash. Families already waste nearly 30% of their groceries, and these products are a major culprit. You're literally spending extra money just to throw it away sooner. The fix? Ridiculously simple. Buy whole produce, set aside 10 minutes once a week, and do your own prep. Store it properly, and you'll have fresh food for days at a fraction of the price. That $20 you currently spend weekly on chopped veggies drops to about $7 when you handle the cutting yourself. That's around $676 saved every single year from this one change alone. And your food will taste fresher and last longer. Item 2. Bagged salads. The $10 lettuce trick. Now let's talk about another big scam of 2025. Pre-packaged salad bags. You walk through the produce aisle, see an organic spring mix bag for $8.99, and think, that's convenient, I'll take it. But here's what actually happened. You just dropped $10 on what amounts to $2 worth of lettuce that someone else rinsed and chopped. I literally watched a shopper at Whole Foods pick up 3 Caesar salad kits at $11.99 each. That's $36 spent on something she could have put together at home for under $8. And here's the part nobody realizes. Those bagged mixes are often less fresh than the whole lettuce right beside them. Why? Because they've already been washed, chopped, and sealed in plastic, creating the perfect environment for bacteria. In fact, the latest 2025 food safety reports show that pre-made salad bags rank among the highest for contamination risks in the produce department, with common issues like Listeria and E. coli. Those bagged salads don't just hit your wallet hard, they can be riskier for your health too. Pre-cut, damp environments are perfect breeding grounds for bacteria like E. coli and other harmful germs. So instead of paying 4 times more for convenience, you're actually getting a product that could make you sick. Don't let grocery stores scam you. Subscribe and keep your money where it belongs, in your pocket. Let me run the actual numbers. A whole head of organic butter lettuce costs about $2.49. A bag of organic spring mix goes for $8.99. That bag usually contains the equivalent of 3 heads of lettuce, which would only cost $7.47 if you bought them whole. And here's the kicker. Those mixes often contain outer leaves and scraps that normally would have been tossed into compost. Here's what makes this so frustrating. Grocery chains have managed to convince people that 5 minutes of rinsing and chopping lettuce is worth an extra $6. $6. In some states, that's higher than the hourly minimum wage. You could literally pay someone to prep your salad at that rate and still save money. And those pre-made salad kits? Don't even get me started. You're paying $12 for a bag of lettuce, a small packet of croutons that cost maybe 30 cents to produce, and a packet of dressing mostly made from cheap vegetable oil and corn syrup. That markup is daylight robbery. The fix couldn't be easier. Buy a head of lettuce for $2.49. Spend 3 minutes chopping and rinsing, and you'll have 4 to 5 servings instead of 1 overpriced bag. Want variety? Buy 2 different kinds of lettuce and mix them yourself. You'll spend less than a single salad kit, but end up with twice as much food. Whole lettuce also stays fresh for up to 2 weeks, while bagged mixes start going limp in just a few days. Stop paying luxury prices for something you can do while your coffee brews. You'll save money, waste less, and actually enjoy fresher tasting salads. Item 3. Pre-shredded cheese. The $200 per year trap. Here's a story that will make you shake your head. I was in the store last week next to a mom with 2 kids. She grabbed 3 bags of shredded cheese, mozzarella, cheddar, and a blend. Total cost, $14.97. Right beside those bags, the same brands in block form for only $6.48. Same cheese, same company. But because someone else shredded it, she paid $8.49 more. I decided to track this across 5 different stores for a month, and the markup was always the same, between 150% and 200%. At Walmart, an 8-ounce bag of shredded cheddar was $4.58. The identical block was $2.27. Do the math. You're paying someone the equivalent of $15 an hour just to grate cheese. Think about that. Most people don't even bring home $15 an hour after taxes, but they're effectively paying that rate for cheese shredding labor. And here's the part. Grocery chains don't advertise. Shredded cheese is treated with anti-caking agents like cellulose, basically powdered wood pulp, to keep it from sticking. So you're not just paying more, you're getting a product with unnecessary fillers that don't melt as well and taste worse. Block cheese melts smoother, tastes fresher, and lasts longer. Now, let's look at the yearly cost. If you buy 3 bags a month like that, Mom, you're tossing away about $200 a year on convenience. That's enough to buy over 40 blocks of cheese instead. For $3.99, you can pick up a box grater, and it'll pay for itself in the first week. Your pizza will taste better, your nachos will be cleaner, and you'll stop sprinkling wood pulp on your meals. Item 4. Bottled water, the $100 billion con. Let's talk about bottled water, because this one is mind-blowing. Americans drank nearly 16 billion gallons of bottled water last year, with sales climbing another 6.5%. We're drowning in plastic and draining our wallets at the same time. Here's the harsh truth. That $1.50 bottle of water you grab at the store? You're paying about 2,000 times more than what comes straight out of your tap. To put it in perspective, if gasoline costs 2,000 times more than usual, filling your tank would run you $7,000. Would you pay that? Of course not. But with water, we've been sold the illusion that it's worth it. And here's what really stings. Most bottled water brands are just filling up with municipal tap water. Companies like Dasani and Aquafina openly admit it. You know what that means? You're literally paying premium prices for the same stuff you could get from your kitchen faucet. You're being charged luxury prices for the exact same water that pours out of your kitchen tap. The only difference is slick branding and a plastic bottle that will linger in the environment for centuries. Each one of those bottles takes about 450 years to break down. Let that sink in. Long after you and your children are gone, your great-great-great-grandkids could still be dealing with that same bottle you tossed yesterday because you didn't bother to refill a reusable one. But let's focus on the dollars, because that's where it really hits. Buying just a single $1.50 bottle of water daily adds up to about $547.50 per year. Compare that to filling the same amount from your tap, about 27 cents annually. That's over $500 in savings every year, just by ditching bottled water. What could you do with that extra money? The smarter play is obvious. Grab a reusable water bottle for every person in your household and invest in a decent filter if your fridge doesn't already have one. A solid pitcher filter costs around $30, with replacements at about $6 every 2 months. Even with top-of-the-line filtration, you'll still spend under $100 per year, versus $500 plus for bottled water. Here's a quick experiment. Check your last grocery bill. Count every bottled water you bought. Multiply that number by 52 weeks and look at the total. Chances are you'll be floored by how much cash you're literally pouring away. Stop paying for logos and packaging when you can get equal or better water at home for pennies. Item 5. Specialty coffee drinks. The $1,200 a year trap. Here's a harsh reality check. That ready-to-drink Starbucks vanilla latte you picked up for $3.49? You effectively just shelled out $13 per pound for coffee. To put it in perspective, a 12-ounce bag of quality beans sells for around $9 in the very same store, enough to brew over 20 cups of the same beverage. We're talking about a markup north of 2,000%, and that's before you even consider the milk and sugar you probably already own. Here's a real-life case. My neighbor Sarah was buying 2 bottled coffees daily. One in the morning, one mid-afternoon. At $7 per day, it didn't seem like much. But when I ran the math, it hit hard. $2,555 per year. That's literally the cost of a European vacation, gone in the form of empty bottles. The best part. When she switched to making a big batch of cold brew at home on Sunday nights, her annual coffee spending plummeted to just $180. She actually liked the taste better too, since she could adjust sweetness to her preference. Item 6. Fresh squeezed juices and smoothies. The liquid gold scam. This one stings. That $8.50 bottle of fresh pressed juice you just bought? It contains about $2 worth of fruit. I know this because my sister runs a juice bar and showed me the breakdown. The profit margins on these drinks are astronomical, 600% to 700%. And supermarkets take it even further, because unlike high-end juice bars, they often don't even use the best ingredients. To test this, I bought the same smoothie 3 ways. At Whole Foods, from a local juice shop, and homemade. Whole Foods charged me $9.99 for 16 ounces. The juice bar charged $7.50. Making it myself with frozen mango, spinach, banana, and coconut water, $1.85, and it tasted far better. Frozen fruit is usually more nutrient-rich anyway, since it's preserved at peak ripeness, unlike produce that's been sitting out under fluorescent lights. Here's the kicker. Most of those fresh grocery juices aren't really fresh at all. They're pasteurized, which means they're heated to kill bacteria, stripping away most of the vitamin C and beneficial enzymes. So you're essentially paying $8 for glorified sugar water in a trendy bottle. Want to break the cycle? Buy a basic blender for around $30. Within 2 weeks, it pays for itself. After that, each homemade smoothie saves you roughly $6. If you drink just 2 smoothies a week, that's more than $600 in yearly savings. Enough to buy a top-tier blender and still pocket $500. Item 7. Pre-marinated meats. The $3 seasoning scam. Take a walk through the meat aisle, and you'll see rows of chicken breasts, pork loins, and beef strips already soaking in colorful marinades. They look gourmet, like a chef carefully crafted them for you. Here's the blunt truth. That marinated chicken breast that looks so chef-prepped, it's the exact same cut of meat as the plain one sitting beside it, just drowned in a cheap marinade that costs the store pennies. We're talking basic stuff like soy sauce, garlic powder, and oil. Yet supermarkets often tack on a huge markup for marinated chicken, pork, or beef, tricking you into paying extra for a 5-minute job. I saw it myself last week. Herb marinated chicken thighs at $8.99 per pound, sitting right next to plain thighs for $4.99. That's an 80% markup for seasoning you probably already own. The smarter option. Buy the plain meat and toss it in your favorite salad dressing at home, instantly saving $4 a pound while also getting more control over flavor. Want to elevate it further? Whisk together olive oil, lemon juice, garlic, and herbs. It takes less than a minute, costs almost nothing, and tastes far better than what the store does for you. Item 8. Pre-made protein bars. The $4 snack scam. This one really gets under my skin because it targets people who are actually trying to make healthier choices. Walk down the health food aisle, and you'll see rows of protein bars priced at $2 to $4 each. Many of these so-called premium snacks are loaded with sugar, syrups, and filler ingredients despite their clean, wholesome branding. Let's break down the cost. A typical protein bar has maybe 50 cents worth of ingredients. Some protein powder, oats, honey, and nuts. Yet companies slap a shiny wrapper on it with buzzwords like superfood or clean fuel and charge you $3.50. That's a 600% markup for glorified granola. Do the math. Eating just 1 protein bar a day costs more than $1,200 per year. Meanwhile, you could make 20 homemade bars for the cost of buying 3. Even simpler, whip up energy bites with protein powder, oats, honey, and peanut butter. Roll them into balls, refrigerate, and you've got 15 protein-packed snacks for under $5. Tastes better, costs less, and you know exactly what's in them. Item 9. Plant-based meat alternatives. The greenwashing goldmine. Here's the latest cash cow for grocery stores. Plant-based meats are everywhere, and they're priced like luxury goods. A pack of plant-based ground beef runs $6 to $8, while actual ground beef is often cheaper. Let that sink in. Processed beans and soy cost more than real meat. Here's how it works. Companies take inexpensive ingredients like pea protein, soy, and oils, things that cost pennies per pound wholesale, run them through industrial processing, then slap on eco-friendly messaging about saving the planet. Suddenly, they're selling patties at double the price of beef. If you want to eat plant-based, that's great, but don't fall for the price gouge. Check the labels, and you'll realize most of these products could be replicated at home. Black beans, mushrooms, and lentils make fantastic burger patties at roughly 80% less cost. Not only do they save money, they're fresher, healthier, and contain ingredients you can actually pronounce. Just last week, I saw a shopper spend $45 on plant-based products that she could have made at home for under $10. Homemade versions taste better, store longer, and won't leave you feeling like you paid for smoke and mirrors. The protein aisle has become a psychological battlefield where marketing makes you think expensive equals healthy. Don't fall for it. Item 10. Brand name spices. The 200% markup madness. Few items in the grocery store carry bigger markups than spices. On average, brand name spices cost at least twice as much as generic ones, sometimes even 300% more. And here's the kicker. You're not paying for higher quality. You're paying for the brand name and the packaging. Most major spice companies actually source their products from the exact same suppliers as the store brands. In many cases, the same factory bottles spices under multiple labels. That means the cinnamon in a fancy McCormick jar could be identical to the cheaper store brand jar sitting right beside it. The difference? You're shelling out extra for the marketing budget and a slightly nicer label. Grocery chains know full well how vital spices are in global cuisines. Indian cooking leans heavily on ingredients like cumin, coriander, and ginger. Mexican dishes often depend on coriander, cumin, oregano, cinnamon, cloves, and allspice. Because shoppers from these cultural backgrounds use spices so regularly, stores can sell larger quantities at lower prices, knowing customers will burn through them quickly and return for more. Meanwhile, in the regular spice aisle, you might hand over $5 for a tiny jar. Yet in the international section, the exact same spice goes for $2 in a container 3 times the size. Item 11. Specialty salts. The $8 fancy scam. This one is outrageous. I actually saw someone pay $8 for Himalayan pink salt, while regular table salt sat on the shelf for under $1. Here's the truth. Salt is salt. Your tongue won't notice the difference between pink crystals and plain white salt sprinkled over scrambled eggs. The pink tint, that's iron oxide, basically rust. So you're handing over $7 more for colored salt that works exactly the same. The marketing execs pushing this nonsense must be laughing themselves silly at how easy it is to sell rust dust as a luxury. Item 12. Pre-made seasoning packets. Daylight robbery. Few things irritate me more than those little taco seasoning packets priced at $1.50 or more. You could put together the same spice mix at home for about 15 cents with what's probably already in your pantry. The ingredient list is laughable. Paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, salt, maybe some cornmeal or citric acid. That's it. But slap a bright label on it that says Taco Tuesday, and suddenly it's worth 10 times as much. The same con applies to ranch dressing packets, Italian herb blends, and instant soup mixes. You're not paying for quality, you're paying for someone to measure it out and stick it in a foil pouch. The fix couldn't be simpler. Stock up on basics like paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, and cumin from the international aisle, bulk bins, or online. With those few spices, you can replicate nearly all the expensive blends at home. Fresher flavor, massive savings, and your meals taste just as good, if not better. Item 13. Artisan bakery bread. The $7 loaf deception. Step into the bakery section and you'll see rustic-looking loaves stacked high with price tags that'll make your jaw drop. $7, $8, sometimes even $12 for a single loaf. The marketing spin is genius. They've convinced shoppers these breads are handcrafted by expert bakers with generations of tradition behind them. Reality check. That $7 sourdough likely cost the store about 75 cents to make. Bread is made of 4 things: flour, water, salt, and yeast. That's it. You're paying a 900% markup for fancy packaging and the illusion of artisanal quality. And here's the kicker. Most of these fresh loaves aren't baked in-house at all. They're partially baked in factories, frozen, and simply reheated in the store to pump out that irresistible just baked smell. You're paying gourmet prices for warmed up frozen bread. For perspective, a 5-pound bag of flour costs about $3 and can make half a dozen loaves, around 50 cents a piece. Even if you splurge on a bread maker, it pays itself off in no time. Item 14. Single-serve snack packs. The portion control scam. This one hits parents and health-conscious folks the hardest. Those cute little pre-packed servings of crackers, nuts, cheese, or fruit seem practical. but the cost per ounce is outrageous. Take goldfish crackers. A box of individual packs runs about $6.99 for maybe 3 ounces total. A full-size bag with the same amount of crackers costs only $2.49. You're essentially paying triple just because someone else divided it up for you. And it gets worse. These companies know how to prey on psychology. They market it as portion control, making you feel like you need their help to avoid overeating while they quietly empty your wallet. Fun fact: in many cases, the packaging of these single-serve snacks costs more than the actual food inside. That means you're literally paying more for the wrapper than the snack. The fix: buy the big bag, spend 2 minutes portioning it into reusable containers, and pocket the savings. Not only does your budget thank you, but so does the planet. Item 15. Organic frozen meals. The health halo trap. This one takes the crown for grocery store ripoffs, and in 2025, it's booming because healthy eating is the hottest trend. These organic frozen entrees are disappearing off shelves at $8 to $12 each, all because shoppers believe they're making smart, nutritious choices. Let me shatter that illusion. The majority of these so-called organic meals pack the same sodium, additives, and processed fillers as their regular frozen counterparts. The only real difference? A green organic label slapped on the box and a price tag that's 2 to 3 times higher. Here's the truth about the organic food boom. It's turned into a multi-billion-dollar marketing empire built on markups of 20% or more across the board. Food companies realized they could churn out the same mass-produced meals, swap in a few organic ingredients, and suddenly charge premium prices because people equate organic with healthy. But the kicker is brutal. Many of these organic frozen entrees are produced in the exact same factories as the non-organic versions, with only minor tweaks that hardly affect nutrition. Investigators have even found that some organic dinners actually contain more calories and sodium than a McDonald's combo meal. Yet you're paying $10 for the privilege. All because the box has a farm illustration and the word organic stamped on it. To make matters worse, the portions are often smaller than standard frozen meals, so you're shelling out more money for less food that's no better for your health. It's the perfect example of the health halo effect. The assumption that anything labeled organic or natural must be good for you, regardless of the actual contents. Don't fall for it. If you want to eat organic, buy organic produce and cook real meals. You can make a healthier, fresher version for $3 instead of $10. If you want convenience, at least stick with regular frozen meals and avoid paying extra for a bogus health promise. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds good, but I don't have time to make everything from scratch. Here's the reality. You don't need to become a full-on homesteader to slash your grocery bill. A few small swaps add up big. Instead of pre-cut fruit, spend 10 minutes on Sunday doing your own prep. That alone saves around $200 per month. Ditch bottled water. Invest in a quality filter once, and you're set for years. Trade overpriced protein bars for overnight oats or DIY protein bites. 5 minutes of prep equals 80% savings. Buy your spices in bulk or from the international aisle. Same flavor, a fraction of the price. Grab a basic bread maker. Toss in 4 cheap ingredients and you'll wake up to fresh bread for pennies. Even if you only make 3 of these changes, you're looking at saving $150 to $300 every single month. That's thousands of dollars a year back in your pocket for a tiny time investment. Let's crunch the numbers. Say you regularly buy just 5 of these convenience traps. Maybe pre-cut fruit a couple times a week, bottled water, protein bars, artisan bread, and snack packs. That's at least $40 wasted every week, which adds up to about $2,000 annually. For a family leaning on 10 of these overpriced items, the drain is closer to $4,000 to $5,000 a year. That's money you're literally throwing away for convenience. Here's the hard truth. Grocery stores are banking on your laziness. They design entire aisles around overpriced shortcuts with profit margins of 300% or more. But now you know the playbook. The real question is, are you going to keep padding their bonuses, or are you going to hang on to that cash for yourself? Here's your challenge. Grab your most recent grocery receipt. Go line by line and highlight every overpriced item from this list. Add it up. I guarantee the total will shock you. Then, choose just 3 of those items to swap out this week. That's it. 3. Watch your grocery bill instantly drop by $50 to $100. If this breakdown just saved you a small fortune, hit that subscribe button. I'm dropping new money-saving strategies every week that grocery stores definitely don't want you hearing. Your wallet will thank you. And stick around, because in the next video, I'm exposing the restaurant industry's sneakiest rip-offs that are draining your paycheck even faster than the grocery aisle.